Hello, I'm Roger Browning with Hewlett-Packard, and I'm here at HIMSS 2011 in Orlando, Florida. And I'm fortunate to have with me here today inventor Roger Heath, who is also the founder of an amazing software application called LifeBot.
What I really conceived was a home unit that would not just be remote monitoring, but would also go into management of the emergency situation. I'd like to have a doctor or nurse on the line, for example, not just have remote monitoring. If I'm having a serious problem, I'd like to interface 911, for example, have that kind of a solution. So what LifeBot is doing is actually getting involved with military telemedicine, certain elements or components which can flow and make all of this work, and also can save lives from day one.
Okay, now I'm here with Dr. Red Duke, and Dr. Duke was actually one of the thought leaders behind this. Dr. Duke, could you tell me a little bit about what led you to eventually have the thoughts about developing a system like LifeBot?
Yes, I have an immense respect for emergency medical personnel and what they do. These EMTs and paramedics, great as they are limited in what they can do. And that there are circumstances when the patient's problem is much more complex than they really can be able to handle with their limited protocol. So why not put telecommunications, modern telecommunications, in transport vehicles? So we began to work on it with the idea of having a connection between a doctor and an emergency room virtually in the back of the ambulance, because we've got cameras, we've got any kind of monitoring that goes on, and that there's wireless communication back to that physician.
You know, we're featuring here at HIMSS the DREAM system, which is disaster relief and emergency medical services, which is a highly developed ambulance and hospital telemedicine system. So we have an ambulance on display, as you know, which shows the system in use, where live video, live data, even live physiologic data like heart waveform, blood pressure, blood gases, everything can be sent live. And then using the slate, for example, we can have a 1.5 pound device which can enable a trauma surgeon, a neurologist if it's a stroke, a cardiologist if it's what they call STEMI, or a heart that's dying, to actually log in remotely during the emergency situation and participate and be virtually on the scene in the hospital or the ambulance. On the hospital side, we have carts, but we also have the 9100 series HP unit, which can act as the base workstation at the hospital, and there we have the ability to remotely control cameras, remotely manage basically the emergency in the ambulance or another hospital. There's remarkable aspects to this of multiple cameras, physiologic data, but just to give you an example, this is called telestration. If a emergency physician or a trauma surgeon wanted to show you and actually draw on the screen, he can actually go through and indicate where on the patient action needs to be taken. Another aspect is sometimes when you're using mobile applications, you don't have much bandwidth, and he might want to see a method of injury. Let's say it's a trauma surgeon, we have an accident victim, we want to really focus on a specific aspect of that patient. We don't have a lot of bandwidth, so what we're going to do is we're going to call a region of interest. We can actually zoom in to a particular area of the patient. The rest of the screen will revert to low bandwidth, low resolution, and we can really focus on the method of injury, the problem that's most life-threatening to that patient.
We talk in trauma, we talk about the golden hour. Well, it's really not 60 minutes long. It's all dependent on the cross-sectional diameter of what's bleeding. Well, we can initiate certain therapies that will hopefully buy a little more time, so that when they do arrive, we're prepared and we've already started the therapy down the road that we can ultimately control the circumstance. And I'm convinced that this is going to something in this order, and certainly LifeBot is making a major effort with you folks at Hewlett-Packard to try to get the thing out, because it will be common in a few years. And I'm not going to tell you how many years, but it's just as natural, and the rapidity with which the telecommunications business is exploding. the Lord only knows how quick it'll be.
So the ambulances that you can set this up in are all equipped with the cameras and HP technology that helps the EMTs actually perform this.
When we got involved, we love the beautiful TouchSmart, the 9100 series. Very solid device for this application. And then when we saw the Slate, we put the military software on it, and it ran beautifully. And
Yes.
the scientists at Texas A&M behind us and the military people were just like, it's a natural for this application. So the HP element in this has just been wonderful.